the command center up. So Fancy will be mining from his third expansion fairly quickly. Second gas warping in, which will be key for storms and etc. later here. But I'm expecting this probe to go out, and the probe is going out, and I'm expecting him to go ahead and grab the another expansion, try to keep up. We do have a Citadel up with the legs going as well. Expect to see a quick Templar Archives after that Citadel. And probably go ahead and get the storms out here and then play it pretty standard. For late game tech, arbiters are good on this map and carriers are good on this map. I feel both are possibilities. I mean, obviously, arbiters are very nice when the Terran banks in the middle of the map, sits in the middle of the map, and just has a huge wall. You have to have stasises, and then recalls are a possibility if they're completely out of their base here. So I'm interested to see what Nony chooses to do for his late game tech here. Yeah, for a couple more factory going up. I was going to say he needs to get these up fairly quickly here. He's just going to basically macro up. Expect to see once this third expansion gets up and running, expect to see a lot more factories on his way. And Nony's army, I mean, this is at the point where your army starts increasing very fast. The top left expansion is just about to go up, so Nony's doing a nice job to stay that 4-3 expansion ahead. So even though he did lose the Reaver, he's going to stay ahead in this macro game. Observer coming in, he already saw the command center, but now Nony knows his opponent is expanding there. Vulture harassment has been kept to a minimal, or there hasn't even been a try for it. Not a load of vultures here. I'm expecting to see, he does have the Goliaths and a lot of tanks here. I mean, he has the Goliaths to deal with anything, so that could change what Nony plans to do, considering the amount of Goliaths. I expect more vultures to come out. I mean, he has a good size tank support and not a load of vultures. And yeah, he is pumping a lot of vultures here. So yeah, the top left expansion is now up and running, or now about to go up and running here. Nony with a lot of gateways here, so he's going to pump and really just try to play this macro game. Stargate going up with the Arbiters, so we are going to see Arbiters after all here. One thing to note for Fancy, he does have a lot of Goliaths out here. I mean, this is a way you can handle it. Beautiful timing there by Fancy. I mean, he's obviously practiced deflecting Nony's Reavers with the Goliaths. I mean, you can do turrets to deflect it, or you can just try to, have your siege tanks in the right position, but you definitely need something, and that's why he's putting up the missile turret here. But Nony's actually going to be aggressive here, and at the same time, his Terran opponent's going to push out and get over this. I was feeling if Nony could keep the height advantage, he could have a chance at this, catching his opponent off guard. Fancy needs to siege up quick. He's barely going to siege up in time, but not going to be able to get a huge minefield. Mines trying to lay mines at the last second. Zealots getting among these tanks. Fancy in a lot of trouble here. He's actually going to lose a group of tanks here. Fancy, oh wow, he got caught off guard, didn't have enough time to lay the minefield here, and although he's going to lose a lot of tanks, going to lose his support, these vultures are going to be able to take out a couple zealots here, but not enough. Fancy losing all of his army, but I mean, not like Nony has a huge army to counter with, but he's going to be able to put some pressure on this expansion here, I feel. Gosh, I'm stuttering. If Fancy can't hold this off, Mines finally laying mines, desperately trying to keep this one tank alive, knows if he can take out a couple more goons, his reinforcements on the way, he should be able to clean up this force here, but Nony doing a nice job of keeping his opponent's tank count down. The observers, kind of chilling over here in a social group, don't want to be in the battle. I'm not much for fighting, I guess, but yeah, he's going to back off here. Nony, after all, is not going to be able to do anything to Fancy's economy here. I'm really struggling with Fancy's name. Oh wow, Nony's observers are late. They're too big, they're too busy socializing, and now here come a group of vultures over here, going to this expansion, gonna be able to get some harassment in. No pylon, no sign of a cannon here. Expect to see a forge here from Nony. Nony's gonna go and grab this expansion as well. Fancy's probably gonna go ahead and take the bottom right expansion pretty quickly here. Vultures coming in here, gonna try to come from behind, but luckily for Nony, he does have that block off. They're gonna lay some mines here. Now they're gonna go ahead and try to go to the top left. Cannon support at the top left. Not gonna be able to do too much damage though, but it is a huge deal in PvT to keep your opponent's tank count down, which Nony's doing brilliantly right so far right now. Vultures coming in here, gonna be able to clean up a lot of these zealots, but no, they're not gonna be microed. You can micro vultures against zealots, but with the speed upgrade, it doesn't make it harder. It is still possible. You can still dominate a zealot with vultures, even with the speed upgrade, but it is very, very hard. But a player like Fancy, I'm sure he has the micro, but I just don't think he was paying attention. A lot of factories up here, and he's going to be able to really reinforce his army quick. He's actually going for this middle, trying to take his middle battleground real quick here. This is very aggressive here, and Nony's actually going to have to back off here. I mean, maybe we could see a shuttle with some zealot bombs here. I mean, obviously this Nexus could be under fire quickly if his opponent chooses to siege up right there and try to take that out. But vultures on the way, and finally this tank-heavy army is switching over quickly after losing losing a lot of those tanks. Mines weren't laid, and that really cost to Fancy in the first battle here. One Arbiter on the way. I don't see a second Stargate here, so he's not too committed to this. Oh, second Stargate just going up here. So he's going to have one or two Arbiters out early, and then we could expect to see more later here. Now, I don't see a starport quite yet. I'm expecting to see that, obviously, EMP with Arbiters. Kind of a key. Yeah, we do see a starport here, so we're going to see a couple science vessels pop out and hopefully get a couple EMPs off. If you can land an EMP before your opponent can do stasis, it can really change the battle. Alright, so the bottom right expansion is now up and running. SCV is being transferred here. This is turning into be a really good game here. Nony's balling it up like no other, but Fancy has taken the middle ground here, so this expansion could be under fire quickly. Nony's got to get his army together quickly and has to eventually choose when to attack, or he could just try to avoid it with recalls. Oh, we are going to see recall being teched first before stasis here, I think. Or maybe it was after, I can't tell. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot to look at that earlier. If you hear my dog scratching, he's just going to kill himself. It's scratching under the treadmill, trying to get his ball. Gotta get my ball. Gotta get my ball. I gotta play. Missile turret going up here. So yeah, Nony's gonna be gonna have a hard time to break this. The minefield has been laid right now. Basically, a lot of Fancy's APM is going on to being focused on laying these mines and getting the siege tanks in just the right positions here to be able to deal with the attack that could be coming from Nony fairly quickly. But with the recall being researched, this is something I've noticed Nony likes to do. He doesn't want to attack the Terran. He's not going to run in there and try to stasis and get the perfect stasis and storms. He's going to go for the recalls and just be a pain here. Nony in a great macro lead here. This Arbiter is over here. These probes are hidden while mining. I'm just kidding. But these Arbiters are coming over here. We are going to see a recall here. And here comes the Arbiter out of position. I don't see a unit in his own base. Fancy's going to be in trouble here. We are going to see a huge recall taking place. A control group, their tanks are out, popping out perfect position, but that one tank gets dominated. Zealots and Dragoons in the base. You're going to be able to take out some factories here. This needs to be worth it. This is an investment, though. A lot of vultures on the way to try to stop this. Nony's going to be able to do some damage, but not too much. Actually, he's going to lay out a couple factories here. Dragoon's not the strongest unit, but yeah, not the smartest unit, I guess. I'm going to be able to take care of these vultures, but only going to be able to get a couple factory kills. This does help, but he's actually going to try to go over here and just take out the last factory. He's not worrying about, obviously, trying to kill Fancy's army, but just worrying about getting as many factories and supply depot kills as he can. He's going to, after all, lay out about 2 factories, possibly 3, but I don't see 3 going to happen. He's going to try to come over here now, just get SCV kills here. So Nony making the best out of what he had. I mean, that's only a control group. It makes your Terran opponent really kind of freaks him out, I guess you could say. Going against recalls, obviously, it takes a lot of APM to try to recover from it, and wow, these tanks are in the middle of their own minefield. If Nony pushed in with some speed zealots, it could be spell devastating right across the screen here. I don't know, but Nony doesn't look like he's going to try to push in. Yeah, he does have high temperatures. We could see some Jangbi needed storms here to try to break the contain in the middle. But now this 6 o'clock expansion is going up for Fancy here, so now they're going to be tied in expansions. This is one thing to note about Bluestorm, I think, just because it is a 2-person map. I mean, the Protoss usually can stay ahead. Like right now, Nony's been able to stay ahead in expansions, but that only lasts for so long, and then it eventually becomes tied up, and there's nothing the Protoss can do without killing a Terran opponent into expanding there, just because there's not enough expansions. I mean, that's the difference between this and a map like Colosseum. On Colosseum, there's like 12 expansions, which are the main, the mineral only. You can expand to other main bases and stuff, but on a map like this, it's not quite like that. That is something to note here. I thought this expanded. Oh wow, it's seen, so he's just ditching it. Was there a recall there? I think there was. Alright, I don't know why he's not mining from that. Excuse me, I completely didn't know that. And now he's long distance mining. I'm not even sure what happened. I was too busy talking about Bluestorm as the map. I completely spaced it. Here we go, though. A big attack coming to the 6 o'clock expansion. Nony going to keep this macro lead here. Science Vessel's coming in too late, though, storming the crap out of everything that he has, but not a huge army here from Nony.